Hello and welcome. My name is Jonathan Picard from Studio 48, reporting from home. With spring break just around the corner, I'm sure many of you will be leaving the state for some fun in the sun, which is now possible because of the COVID-19 vaccines being released for people 16 and older earlier this month. But we don't know much about these vaccines since people our age haven't been able to receive them yet. So I decided to speak to some professionals to help you make your choice about whether or not you want to be vaccinated.
I'm Scott Whedon. I am the Emergency Management Director for the town of Plymouth and have really been the organizer, facilitator of the town of Plymouth's COVID response during this period.
How safe are these vaccines?
Well, what I try to tell people, Jonathan, is there are strict protections in place to help ensure the safety of all COVID-19 vaccines. Before receiving any validation from regulatory agencies, the COVID-19 vaccine had to go through a rigorous testing in clinical trials to prove that they met internationally agreed benchmarks for safety and effectiveness. And unprecedented scientific collaborations allowed the COVID-19 vaccine research, development, and authorization to be completed in record time. And I know that scares some people, whereas it could take up to 10 years to develop a vaccine. But in order to meet the urgent need for the COVID-19 vaccine while maintaining high standards, as with all vaccines, regulatory authorities will continuously monitor the use of COVID-19 vaccines to confirm that they remain safe for all who receive them. And as we look at the seriousness and long-lasting side effects to the vaccines, they're possible, but very rare, and vaccines are continuously being monitored to detect the rare adverse events, such as what has recently occurred with the Johnson & Johnson Janssen vaccination.
Why would you encourage people to be vaccinated?
I encourage them because it provides protection against the COVID-19 disease as a result of developing an immune response to the COVID-19 virus. The immunity helps you fight the disease if you're exposed and or contract. It's a personal choice, and I absolutely get that ethically and morally. But I personally state that the benefits of COVID-19 vaccines are significant, while risks like severe bad reactions to the shot are highly unlikely. Deciding not to be vaccinated, on the other hand, puts you at risk for becoming infected with the virus and developing COVID-19, including the possibility of a potentially severe course of illness. An example I'll use, and you may have seen it recently in the news, is the Plainville, Massachusetts firefighter, EMS provider, who chose not to get the vaccine. And this is a young adult in his 20s who felt he was very healthy and he wanted others that needed the vaccine to get it first. And unfortunately, he is currently in a coma in a Massachusetts hospital fighting for his life with COVID-19.
I guess the last thing would be now that people are being vaccinated and the end is in sight, how close are we to getting to having this be done and over?
I think the end is in sight, even though the last 2 weeks in Plymouth, we've seen a spike in cases based with the university and with residents of the town of Plymouth. I think we will see things start to quiet down with regards to the number of cases that are reported that have symptoms. Even though we still will have cases, just as we do with the flu, I think prevention is the number one thing that's going to continue to mitigate the COVID-19 pandemic. So I do believe, as you, the end is in sight. It just is going to take a little bit longer. My guess, by the end of June, I think we'll be sitting pretty good, in my opinion.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
The only thing that I want to talk about a little bit, Jonathan, is the prevention, making sure that folks are using proper hand hygiene, social distancing, and wearing a cloth face covering.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Jonathan, have a great day.
You as well. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Whedon. I hope hearing from someone like Scott can help you make your decision. But maybe you want to hear from someone you do know, a regular person who's already received their vaccinations. That's why I approached teachers in our school asking about their experiences being vaccinated.
My name is Richard Smith. I'm an English teacher at Plymouth Regional High School. My name is Mrs. Laufenberg. I am a physical education and wellness teacher here at Plymouth Regional High School.
Well, my name is Will Gunn, and I'm the music teacher at Plymouth High School. COVID-19 has been tough because singing and wind instruments, obviously, there's quite a bit of potential spread of aerosols, so we have had to really adjust classes.
In-class learning has definitely been affected, especially with regards to PE. Our class is primarily a participation class, and where kids are in person, they're actively working with each other and playing games and learning new skills. And so when we went remote, it's a little bit harder to assume that kids have any sort of equipment at home.
It's been a strange year. Normally in classes, I get up and move around and do a lot of walking and talking. My students work in small groups. That hasn't happened much this year. I've been pretty much behind my desk to keep myself separated from the students.
Kind of excited in terms of just hopefully the back to normalcy it was going to provide in terms of travel, in terms of a little bit more security, in terms of safety.
I was so excited. I had been definitely keeping track of all the eligibility throughout January and February.
I was both relieved and excited. I believe the vaccinations are important and effective tools in fighting COVID, and the fact that we could get them early enough so that they would be in full effect before our April break means that I can go visit some people that I'm friends with that are also vaccinated that I haven't seen in a long time.
The first one, it was just a sore arm for about 2 to 3 days, and then it went away. And then the second one, it wasn't too bad. I felt kind of chills and kind of tired all day, kind of lethargic, but nothing like fevers or anything that really kind of put me in bed all day.
I actually ended up coming down with COVID back in January. My daughter and I both had it. The vaccination was just more of a decision to make sure that I try to be as safe as I could for my family and I, and from there we just moved on to hope that the vaccination would show up soon enough thereafter. So
the only thing I experienced after the first one was a little bit of soreness in my arm, which is not unusual for shots. After the second vaccination, that Sunday, I just kind of felt low-grade yuck. I wasn't nauseous or super tired or anything. Frankly, it was like I was hungover all day.
I thought that because I had had COVID initially, that potentially that first dose, that first shot was actually going to be the one that I'd have the most symptoms with. And my theory has proven to be a bit correct, and at least a little bit for me. My first dose, I definitely felt more tired. I felt like I had chills but no fever, achiness, chest tightness, almost similar to how I felt when I did have COVID. With the second dose, I came down just quick with exhaustion, didn't sleep very well that night, and then woke up the next morning with a pounding headache, but then was able to take ibuprofen like they suggested, and the rest of the day I was good.
Absolutely. I think this is really the only way that we're gonna get back to performing, get back gathering in groups inside anymore.
I definitely would. I think in general, the safer we can all be and whatever precautions that we could take, or any steps at least in general to return back to whatever normalcy we had, but also keeping in mind some of the things we've adapted that have helped us to stay safe and to help us kind of reduce the spread of any sort of pathogen would be great to do from here on out.
Absolutely. You need to be vaccinated, not only for yourself. It's not 100% for anyone. I think it's a responsibility to our family, our friends, and our community. It's our civic duty. If we can get enough people vaccinated, we can reach that herd immunity, and we can really start to get back to what used to be normal.
I would like to thank all the teachers who took time out of their busy schedules to discuss their experiences with me. I hope this story has helped you make your choice about being vaccinated. If I may give my opinion, I believe that getting vaccinated is a good idea. It will bring us one step closer to normalcy. If you're still unsure, there will be sources down below in the description to help you make your final choice. Reporting once again for Studio 48, I'm Jonathan Picard. Thank you for watching.